Let's say you've got a data set, and you've got a date perfectly stored as August 24th, or maybe a duration logged as 3,600 seconds. Sounds completely correct, right? Well, it is, but here's the catch. To a machine learning model that actually needs to understand the day of the week or the elapsed hours, that representation is practically useless. So in this explainer, we're going to build a really practical mental model for data transformation. We'll break down the core idea, trace the exact process, and, maybe most importantly, pinpoint exactly where you need to exercise some serious caution with your results. All of this brings us to the crucial question we really need to tackle first. Why are data transformed before analysis or machine learning in the first place? Here's our roadmap for today. We'll define data transformation, walk through the four-stage pipeline, look at an illustrative example in practice, cover the golden decision rule, tackle some common misconceptions and limits, and finally wrap it all up with a quick recap. All right, let's dive right into step 1, defining data transformation. At its core, transformation is a purposeful mapping from original values to a derived representation. Now, I want to emphasize the word purposeful. It's not just some generic magic step that automatically cleans or fixes your data. Actually, it's about changing the representation, scale, distribution, or structure so that the information clicks perfectly with your analytical method. And the kicker, it does all this while preserving the core meaning of the data. You constantly have to ask yourself, what information is entering the process, what operation is actually changing it, and what exactly comes out on the other side. That brings us to our second point, the four-stage pipeline. This is the actual mechanism, the engine behind the process. It starts with the requirement phase, which means identifying exactly what your downstream method expects. Next up is mapping, where you define a reversible or at least fully documented change. Then comes fit. This is absolutely crucial. You fit any learned transformation using only your training data. Finally, we apply. This means executing that exact same mapping to your validation, test, and production data. This path matters deeply. One bad assumption at any of these stages can completely compromise your model. A responsible explanation shows you this whole flowing pipeline, not just the final output.
Moving right along to part 3, let's look at an illustrative example in practice.
To make this concrete, let's look at a transaction timestamp. That single input can be mapped into 3 highly useful derived features: the hour of the day of the week, and the elapsed time since the previous transaction. Or think about a heavily skewed positive amount. That might receive a logarithmic transform to stabilize its distribution. Why does this matter? Well, different transformations expose entirely different patterns. They literally encode your specific modeling choices, rather than just neutrally formatting the data. And notice something really important here. The original inputs always remain untouched and available for auditing. Let's transition to part 4, the decision rule. So when should you actually trigger this process? You apply transformations to align units, stabilize relationships, encode domain structure, or satisfy the strict assumptions of a specific method. And you do all of this while always retaining that lineage back to the original values. But if you take away one thing, it should be this golden decision rule. Match the method to the specific question, the available data, and the cost of error. Don't just choose a technique because it's popular or looks fancy. Stop and ask yourself, are the inputs appropriate, and does the output actually answer my real question? Now for part 5, and this one's a biggie: common misconceptions and limits. There's this very dangerous misconception floating around in data science that transformed data are inherently more truthful than original data. Let me be perfectly clear. They aren't. A much more accurate way to look at it is this. Transformation might make patterns much easier for an algorithm to model, but it fundamentally changes the interpretation. And if you aren't paying close attention, it can completely hide underlying errors. You also have to respect this critical limit. A mapping fitted on all of your data can leak evaluation information right into your training phase, completely ruining your results. Plus, applying an inappropriate transform will literally destroy meaningful differences in your dataset. Now, this doesn't make transformation a bad thing. It just means you have to know exactly when to trust the results and when to step back and rely on additional testing or your own human judgment. Finally, we're at part 6, a recap on the what, how, and when. Let's lock in this essential byte. What is it? It's changing representation, scale, distribution, or structure to match an analytical method, all while preserving meaning. How do we do it? Systematically. We move through requirement, mapping, fit, and apply.
And when does it matter? Whenever you need to align units, stabilize relationships, or satisfy assumptions, always while strictly tracking lineage back to your source data.
By focusing on this structured pipeline, rather than just staring at the final output, you ensure your data remains interpretable and robust. So keep these boundaries in mind. After all, if your machine learning model spits out a completely bizarre prediction tomorrow, you've got to ask yourself, is the algorithm actually failing, or did your transformation just destroy the meaning of your data today?